Today we're shooting personal branding, but we're doing so with efficiency in mind. I'm going to take a single light, make little adjustments, but these changes are going to make dramatically different results. Hey everybody, Lindsay Adler here. Personal branding is meant to be personal. It's meant to represent the individual, which means there's no right or wrong way to light it. So one of the things I like to do at the beginning of my sessions is to quickly change the lighting and then show it to my client and see which one fits their vibe, which one they think is most flattering to them. So today what I want to do is show you how to do this efficiently. I'm going to take a single light and make little tweaks, and we're going to take it from something more dramatic and sculptural to pulling back on the drama a little bit, and then ending with something really light and airy and higher key. And so after I have these three different results, I can show the client and they can easily communicate to me which look best fits their brand. For these images, I'm going to be shooting with the Canon R5 Mark II and the 24-105 2.8. The reason this is great is if the idea is efficiency and moving quickly and getting variation, this is the lens for it. Because I have such a wide range of focal lengths, I can shoot full length, mid length, close-up shots without having to change the lens. In other words, it doesn't slow me down. Today, my choice of modifier is a 4-foot octabox. And the reason I've chosen this is it's a soft and flattering light source. And it's going to evenly light my subject head to toe if I want to do more full-length personal branding. But what we're going to do is we're going to make modifications. We're going to change subtle angles of the light, we're going to add grids, and we're going to change the direction. And each of these tweaks will give me a totally different look. Now, first off, I do want to mention we're shooting on a Savage Universal Super White. That is going to give us a nice, clean surface. But you'll see as I make these tweaks, not only does the light on the face change, but so does the light on the background. So where we're actually going to begin is with a little bit more drama. So over here on the left-hand side of the frame, you will see that our 4-foot octabox has a grid. And what a grid does is it controls the spill of light. It focuses it in a little bit more, makes the light fall off faster. So to me, what this means is more control, but also more drama. You'll also notice that the light is a little bit further over to the left-hand side, which means it's going to create a little bit more shadow to the camera's perspective. So we're going to start there, and I'll show you where we are beginning. The first look I would show my customer. Okay, just like that's great. Perfect, nice and serious. Stick your chin out a little more, and chin down a little. In this first setup, what you'll notice is the background, even though it's white, it actually appears a darker gray. And that's because the grid has prevented the light from hitting the background. This is going to be good for personal branding that's meant to be a little bit more serious or trustworthy. You'll also notice on the right-hand side of the frame, the shadow on her face is rather dark. Again, giving us the idea of something that is serious and a little bit more dramatic. So I would likely do a shot like this that is meant to be thoughtful, maybe a little bit stronger because the light feels that way. However, maybe the brand isn't really that serious. So what could I do to change this? I'm going to make a small tweak. We're going to take the grid off, which is going to allow the light to spread around the space. The background will become a little bit lighter. And then because the light is bouncing around, I'm actually going to bring in a white V-flat. By doing so, it's going to bounce some light into those dark shadows and lift up the shot overall, making it a little less dramatic. So let's take off the grid and bring in the V-flat. All right, so the background obviously has gotten much brighter. It's a bit of a light gray, and the shadows on this side of her face have been filled in. This is going to be very versatile. It's neither dramatic nor soft and glowing. So it's a good neutral between the two. All we did is take off the grid of the main light and bring in a white reflector. So our last variation is going to be a little bit unusual, a little bit unexpected. We're actually going to take that 4-foot octabox and point it into the corner of the room in the ceiling. By turning it away from the subject, we're actually making the light source larger. Sounds counterintuitive, but what's happening is the light's bouncing off the walls and the ceiling and everywhere, and so the light source becomes everything in the room, which means it's really large, which means it's really soft. And so what's going to happen is the light spreads everywhere, which means it'll bounce even more. So everything is going to be really glowing and high key. So now let's take that light and turn it away from the subject. All right, and just like that. This is a totally different result. The mood is completely different. The background now appears pure white and high key. The shadows are heavily lifted. The shot overall is glowing. Now I will say the shot isn't completely flat because since we bounced the light over to the left-hand side of the frame, there still is some directionality, but because it's spreading out everywhere and bouncing, the shadows are very filled in. So when you look at these three shots, they are very different in mood, very different in tone. And so if I show my customer, my client, these three different looks, they can tell me right away which one is appealing to them, which one better represents their brand, or which one they think flatters them the best. And then as I go throughout the rest of the personal branding, I'll lean into that mood. Or another approach that you could take is if you want to just give them a lot of variation, you can see how quickly you can achieve that, even if you're only using one light. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump in and get some real shots of her. And remember, as I vary the lighting, I will likely vary the pose and the expression to reflect the mood of the shot. And now point and laugh that way. Perfect. So there you have it, personal branding that you can personalize quickly because you can take one light and make little tweaks for dramatically different results. It's using grids, the direction of light, as well as reflectors, and each one of these shots is giving me a very different mood that would represent different brands. So if you want to see the gear that I use to make these images, be sure to check out the links in the description below. And when you pick up that gear, go ahead and visit Adorama.com. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.